Hey folks, just a reminder that the special Halloween Raid Shadow Legends campaign is still happening this month. I know some people are always skeptical on these sponsored reads like this, but I promise you, I really believe in this game. I've always made it a point to play it myself, and most of the footage I show you comes from my own gaming experience. And, like I promised, if we reach the campaign goals, I promise to shout out the top 10 players, and I plan to carry out that promise to the highest extent I can. If we can reach 30 installs, I will go ahead and release a special video on Halloween night that I've been wanting to save for something a little closer to Thanksgiving. But if you guys can hit that 30 install, I'll go ahead and release it early. So check out Raid as soon as you can using my link in the description. Howdy friendos, my name is Stuart and welcome to the part of the channel where we take a look at pop culture characters and determine what alignment they are in Dungeons & Dragons. Today we'll be taking a look at the cult classic of a movie, The Nightmare Before Christmas. To those that don't know, The Nightmare Before Christmas is a stop-motion musical about our protagonist, Jack Skellington, who is the king in a place called Halloween Town. It seems that in this universe there are several realms based off of various holidays that are responsible for bringing the spirit of that holiday to the humans of the mortal world. Now what's cool about this movie is that the mythology is actually barely explained. We really don't know how the characters' powers or magic works, but we also really don't know what their place in the universe is or how they can seemingly head into the human world. And normally that would be really annoying, but Nightmare Before Christmas is a movie that doesn't really warrant an explanation because the movie does so well at letting our characters tell the story that we're kind of just witnessing whatever they're doing. Now the reason I bring this up is because even though the individuals of Halloween Town are vampires, ghouls, and otherwise monsters that would typically warrant some sort of evil alignment, it's implied that these creatures harbor no ill will towards anyone and are just sort of fulfilling their natural duty or impulse. So to those in the comments who would say things like, well, the vampires are lawful evil because that's what it says in the rulebooks. Not so much here. Our story, as I mentioned earlier, fixates on Jack Skellington, the king of Halloween Town and the person in charge of operating and executing Halloween every year in the human world. It's implied that he's been doing this ever since the holiday started in the real world, and if my Google search is to be believed, Halloween has been going on anywhere between 200 and 2,000 years, depending on what you interpret as Halloween. Either way, because he's been in charge of the festivities for so long, Jack has become bored and doing the same thing over and over and over. After lamenting about his frustrations, Jack walks off and stumbles onto a nexus of various holidays where he is then isekai'd into Christmas Town. He becomes fascinated with all the new experiences and tries to bring back what he discovered to the rest of Halloween Town, but finds that his fellow citizens just don't understand what he is trying to show them. Disappointed that he is seemingly the only one that understands, he then declares that he and the rest of Halloween Town will be taking over Christmas this year and putting their own spin on the holiday. The rest of the movie goes off from there, but those are the major story beats. So as of our new rules, let's take a look at which characters we'll be examining today. There are quite a few characters in Halloween Town, but there's only a few that really matter to our story. Obviously, we'll be looking at Jack, the Pumpkin King. Because Jack starts the movie as someone who isn't jaded like a lot of our other protagonists and instead is just bored and going through the motions, he definitely doesn't seem like he has a bad bone in his body. He just wants something new to inspire him. So because of this, I will start Jack's alignment at true neutral for this video, and the rest of the other characters we'll talk briefly about during the ding ding portion are Sally, the mayor, Santa, and Oogie Boogie. And with those characters established, let's go.
Place in my bones that calls.
Great Halloween, everybody!
I believe it was our most horrible yet. Thank you, everyone.
No!
Jack congratulates everyone and shares the glory of a successful Halloween. Definitely lawful good, I think.
Our first award goes to the vampires for most blood drained in a single evening.
Okay, so like, are these creatures actually killing or assaulting people? What are the rules? Cause like, this is really important to determining the alignment of the Halloween people in general. I'm not certain what this means. We're gonna just pass this off as a joke.
Nice work, Bone Daddy.
I forgot that line was in the movie. I'm sure it doesn't mean what we think it is now, but alright.
Guy in Kentucky and Mr. Unlucky.
Who is this man? Who is this Kentucky local who sees a 6 to 8 foot tall walking skeleton and goes, "Hey Bill, did you see that? That 7 foot tall monster?" "No, I didn't, guy. What did he look like?" "Well, no conceivable thing on earth that tall man-shaped thing. I bet that he's Mr. Unlucky." Also, I know I gotta mention Jack's lament in this or people will get upset, and no, I don't believe that Jack has any alignment actions here. He's just lamenting and reflecting on his boredom. He doesn't make any decisions here, so no alignment. Again, no alignment here since Jack got magically pulled into this place. Or isekai'd.
Christmas Town?
Jack gets totally taken in by the sights of Christmas Town. He causes some minor problems, but he is trying to keep a good social distance. Since he is trying to keep away and observe, I'll mark this as neutral.
They call him Sandy Claus.
So Jag wants to get everyone excited about Christmas Town and is trying to throw their own Christmas. However, they are literally incapable of understanding it. So in order to help them get excited, he lies to them and explains the holiday in words that they will understand. This misunderstanding shapes the rest of the movie. Chaotic neutral.
I bet I could improve it too, and that's exactly what I'll do!
Jack declares that he will take over Christmas, and even though he wants to improve it and express it in a new way, this is chaotic neutral because he is changing the course of an entire town in order to work on a project that they have no idea how to do and will throw them off their schedule for next Halloween. Chaotic neutral.
Leave that no-account oogie-boogie out of this!
Jack conscripts Lock, Shock, and Barrel to go relieve Santa of his duties. He tells them to treat Santa well and make sure to inform them not to let Boogie 2988 in on the plan in order to keep everyone safe, but still chaotic neutral.
First, we're going to set some bait inside a nasty trap and wait. When he comes sniffing, we will...
The three kids, however, then immediately betray Jack and plan to take Santa to Oogie Boogie, where they are perfectly aware that he will be tortured and likely killed. Although they betrayed Jack, since they were originally Boogie's hench kids, this still makes them lawful evil because they are loyal to Boogie, not Jack, and they have no obligation to Jack. So the kids are lawful evil.
Please listen to me. It's going to be a disaster.
Jack doesn't trust women enough to listen to Sally's pleas to cancel Christmas. It's unclear whether or not she has a history of correct predictions or visions or whatever. Either way, he's clearly swept up in the excitement of his own project and ignores her warnings. Gotta say, chaotic neutral. That being said, Sally is consistently chaotic good. She frequently ignores the orders of her authority figures and operates with complete autonomy despite it seemingly going against her function. She is not above using deception to get what she wants, mostly to either do things that either benefit herself or others. While poisoning her creator is arguably evil, it's obvious it doesn't hurt him. She just wants freedom, not his death. Sally is chaotic good.
I'm very sorry for the inconvenience, sir. Take him home first. And apologize again.
Okay, so Jack orders the trick-or-treaters to return the Easter Bunny home along with an apology after doing so himself. This is not a good aligned action. Instead, this is very clearly a professional courtesy that Jack is extending. If Jack, say, wanted to take over Easter, he would capture the Easter Bunny just like he inscripted the three to capture Santa. So this is lawful neutral.
Substitute a bat in place of this rat.
Jack, no!
So ring the bells and celebrate!
Is it weird that I find this strangely wholesome? Like, now that Jack has everyone on board, he's been guiding them on the right direction. Everyone in Halloween Town is genuinely trying to throw the best Christmas they can. The music and tone is clearly going for the nightmare juxtaposition, but like, nah, their heart is in the right place. It's just bad leadership on Jack's part. I'm pretty much going to say that the average Halloween Town person is chaotic neutral to chaotic good.
Well, well, well. What have we here?
I mean, here's a really easy one. Oogie Boogie is chaotic evil, and I really shouldn't have to explain it. He lies, cheats, and hurts others for his own benefit. He is interesting, though, since he just kind of exists in this universe. We see him at the song in the beginning of the movie as just another guy in town, but he also has this weird evil layer that wouldn't actually help him with his Halloween Town duties. So clearly he brings people down here on the regular to torture and kill. Honestly, it leaves some pretty awful implications to the rest of Halloween Town, but Oogie Boogie is at least chaotic evil.
My, what a brilliant nose you have.
It's funny how Zero was treated better in Halloween Town than Rudolph was in Christmas Town and in his own story. Then again, I guess those guys are more accepting to weird quirks like glowing noses. Insert video essay about Santa knowing about Rudolph's bullying but did nothing about it here.
All right, I have a special present for you anyway. There you go, Sonny.
Okay, so this is genuinely hard to describe. Jack is currently going around as a Santa imposter, and he's doing this because he's in a creative slump. However, in this interaction, you can see that he is sincerely trying to give people a good experience, even though he just doesn't have the capacity to do so. I'm just gonna say chaotic good and call it a day.
I knew this Christmas thing was a bad idea.
Okay, hear me out. The mayor is lawful good. My mother always said that in order to work for the government, you needed to be either rude, incompetent, or both. Clearly, this guy is just incompetent, but he did have the town's best interest at heart, despite the fact that he had to delegate all the tasks to other people. But I suppose that is sort of what a good leader does sometimes.
What have I done?
Gotta say, despite the fact that I never really cared much for this movie, this is pretty much a Nat 20 scene. It pretty much perfectly encapsulates the whole point of the movie. Jack is basically a burnt out artist who lost his drive for doing what he originally loved. So he obsesses over a new idea like Christmas and tries to put his own spin on it. It failed spectacularly, but the experience gave him a fresh new outlook and inspired him to go back to what he does best. Boy, isn't that topical! He even realizes that now he needs to go fix his mistakes and put everything back the way it was for others. I'm going to argue lawful good since he does a backflip, snaps the bad guy's neck, and saves the day in the end.
I hope there's still time.
To fix Christmas? Of course there is. I'm Santa Claus.
Dude, Santa's got no chill. Dang. Either way, he fixes Jack's mistakes, swings by Halloween Town to give everyone snow and a perspective that they needed to understand Christmas, and then clearly forgives Jack with a happy Halloween. Honestly, the dude would totally be in the right to have Jack, like, excommunicated or something, but shows mercy and understanding. Good guy Santa. Lawful good.
I'd like to join you by your side.
Jack then goes to pursue a relationship with Sally, clearly learning from his last experience and asking for consent first before moving on to his next endeavor. I'm pretty sure there's a better way that I could have phrased that, but still technically, lawful good. I find it funny to this day that people can't seem to determine if this is a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie, and I say I don't think it matters. The characters and the universe are pretty swell. I don't really have a lot more to say except, tell me what you think in the comments down below. Did I hit the mark for you, or do you have any ideas on other characters, or maybe the few that I didn't cover? Check out our other videos, thank you to the patrons, and I'll see you next time.
Ho, ho, ho! No.